Welcome to week 3 of our Become a Certified Data Analyst in 5 months with our part 1 module, Data Analytics with Excel. Today is week 3. Week 3 will finish up with the functions that we started last week, and then we'll look at tables, pivot tables. We'll see how far we can go with that. But we'll actually start with the assignment that was given, week 2's assignment. Interestingly, only 5 people um, did this assignment. Out of the 5 persons, interestingly again, the person that had it correct, most of the things that I was looking for had it accurate is Marianne Ashon, being a lady. I wasn't expecting that, but congratulations. Please, let's put our hands together for Marianne for being the best student for week 2's assignment. Please clap for her, clap for her, clap for her. And I think it's an inspiration. The guys are sleeping. Guys are sleeping. So let the best student for week 2 give us some. This one is no vote of thanks. She has to tell us how she went about the assignment, the challenges she faced. When she is done, others too will have the opportunity to explain to us some of the key challenges they encountered in addition to what you learned. To be an advanced user of Excel, to be a data analyst with Excel, you should be able to answer this question without using Power Query and without using pivot table. Okay, so let's dive in. Fortunately, I'm going to solve it with you. So please brace yourselves. Great. Let's start solving week 2's problem solution to week 2 challenge or week 2's project. Open your Excel workbook. Mine is the same thing, weekend lab sections workbook. Make sure you are working in the same workbook. I think last week we ended at activity 6, date functions. So open that workbook in addition to the Excel week 1 to 5 workbook with all activities for participant workbook. Okay, that file, the file that has the data. So you're opening 2 files. Okay, I'm giving you 30 seconds. When you have them, show by thumbs up that you have these 2 workbooks, Excel week 1 to week 5, and then your real workbook where we do all the activities in it. Thumbs up when you have these 2 workbooks opened. Thumbs up, thumbs up when you have. When you don't have, thumbs down. Thumbs down when you don't have it. Thumbs up if you have them opened. Okay, so we assume that everybody is set. So this is what we're gonna do. We open this because we need the data set in our weekend lab session workbook. So please locate the scroll bars, the sheet scroll bar. Okay. On the sheet tab, right click and then click on sales underscore US to quickly move to that that section of your sheets of your workbook. Okay, so you right click in between these scroll bars, the left and the right, you right click in between them, click on sales underscore US. It quickly moves you to that sheet, okay, within your workbook. Now this is what we're going to do. We're going to duplicate this sheet or make a copy of this sheet in our weekend lab section workbook, the one we used last week. Okay, all right. When we are done, we'll close this Excel week 1 to week 5. So right click on sales underscore US sheet tab. Then you select move or copy. Select move or copy. Then the first thing you do here is to ensure that you've selected sales underscore US in the sheets here. Then you click or you check create a copy. So you select sales underscore US first. Then you check create a copy down. Then move to the top where you have to book. Click on the chevron down pointing arrow. Then choose weekend lab sessions. That's the workbook we used last week. Then come here, scroll down to the before sheet section and select move to end. Then click on OK. That will duplicate that worksheet into your activity workbook. Okay. All right. So now we have the data here. I don't need this week 1 to week 5 workbook again. So I'm gonna close it. Don't need it. I only need this data set. All right. So kindly confirm if you have the data sets copied into your weekend lab section. Week 2 project says that using the sales and underscore US data set, perform the following analysis. Create a new column with the heading quarter and calculate the quarterly sales for each observation. This one doesn't really make sense. I am supposed to calculate the overall quarterly sales, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4. Um, that's what this section was meant to do. And then do not use Power Query. Let me add and pivot table. So you are not supposed to use pivot table. You are not supposed to use Power Query. Okay, and I've explained where the workbook can be found or the data set can be found. Okay, so now we come down to the questions proper. Create a new column with the heading month name and display the names of each month, okay, of each month from the order date of each month from the order date, and then calculate total sales for the East region for first quarter. Then calculate mean sales for training for second quarter. Then determine the quarter that had the highest sales. And last one, interesting one, design your data to make it easy peasy to look up total sales for each region. Okay, now problem solving skills. Anytime you have a problem, you must break the problem down, analyze the problem. What are these questions set to do? So you take a note or you take a jotter. Okay, let me quickly um, get some notepad so we make notes alongside. You take a jotter or you open a notepad. In your notepad, you break down the problem. So it's Ghanaians and Kasana, we have one major problem. We don't like documenting things. We don't like writing. So when you have a question, don't just start answering it. Plan. So plan how to answer it. So plan how to answer the question. Okay. So when I look at this question, it's looking for columns. Create a new column with the name of the other months and what do I need? So fields needed. Remember last week, today is Saturday. So Monday, our workshop was on making data-driven decisions. And then we said that the first step is to define the business problem. And that same methodology or framework we used can be applied here. Okay, so you define the problem. The problem is to get quarterly sales, monthly sales, the quarter with the highest, and all of that. So they want to see how they are performing quarterly, which of their product categories are performing um, well, and all of that. That's a business problem. You go to the decision, the data, defining the decision goal. What Based on these questions, what are you supposed to do? You are supposed to calculate total sales for each region for first quarter. So based on this calculating total sales for each region for first quarter, it means that you need quarterly sales. So the fields needed, we will need um order dates. Okay, the order date is already, so when I put A in the bracket, it means that it's already in the data set. So for bullet 1, we'll need order date, and then we'll need month name. Is it? Oh, we need months. I think month in number, and then the question says month name. So we also need month name. Okay. So the month name is going to be what we call calculated field. It's not already provided. I hope you are doing what I'm doing. So problem solving, how to break down a problem. Okay. Then calculate, okay, new month, calculate total sales. So total sales, from total sales, we will need the column that has the sales. It's called the sale amount, right? Okay, so we need the sale amount field, sale amount already provided. Okay, then we need total sales, total sales. So remember, after you define your goal, you have to identify the data element. So what we are doing at this step is we identify the various fields that we will use to do our calculations. Okay, data element identification. So total sales. This one will be a calculated field, and it will be based on the sale amount plus um, any other dimension that we are looking at. So please here, dimensions are the categorical variables. The sale amount, let me write some notes here. So sale amount is a measure. Measures are categoric numeric variables. Okay, it's a measure. In other words, numeric variable. Okay. Then it says calculate total sales for east region. Okay. So east, we also need east region. So we need the region field. The region field is already provided. So please, if already provided is in the data set, this is a dimension. It's a categorical data type. It's under this. So dimension means that that field has categories. It's under the region column or field that you get east, west, south, north. I think there are four. Okay. So that's a dimension. Sale amount, we are saying is what? It's a measure. So measures are numerical fields. Dimensions are categorical fields. Okay. Or categorical columns. All right. So please, anytime we give an assignment, plan how to solve it, structure it, put the things down. Don't do it in your head. Do it like I'm doing. Structure the things out. Okay. Then calculate mean sales for training for second quarter. Training is under can anybody assist me? I think training is under product category. Yes. So we need product category from the data set. So it will mean that you have to familiarize yourself with the data. Somebody told me that Charlie, the data is plenty in front of you. Yes, that is why. So in the real world, at the end of the month, they will give you data set with plenty columns. But based on the decision that you have to make, based on the business goals or the business problem you are solving, you might not need all the columns. So you have to structure, you have to identify the data elements, the fields or the columns, or the different data sets you need to come together to be able to answer the decisional goals or to solve the business problem or to give the insight management is looking out for. Okay, so this process is very, very key. It's very, very important. You realize I'm taking my time to go you through, to walk you through methodologically how you will answer questions as a data analyst. Okay, all right. So it's under the product category. This is already provided. This is a dimension. It's under this that you have the um, training category. Okay, so let me just put it like that. Training. All right, so we go back to all right. to the question. 1, 2, 3, 4. So calculate the third one. Calculate mean sales for training for second quarter. For second quarter. So we also need the quarters. Okay. So we have the months. We need the quarters. So quarter, quarter, quarters. So quarter is not provided. So it will be a calculated field. Okay. Determine the quarter that had the highest sales. Okay. Design your data to make it easy to look up total sales for each region. Do you have region? Okay. So all the columns that we need in our data set, all the fields or columns that we need in our data set, I think we have mapped them. We have mapped them. Okay. So you can even call this mapping columns needed. Okay. So please don't just approach solving your problem or doing your project just like that. Follow a methodology. Remember, in the day one, we said that a data scientist or a data analyst who can be called a data scientist is someone who follows a methodology in analyzing data. Okay, so follow a process. Follow a process. Okay, so please kindly check the screen is still shared. I hope you can see my screen. I think somebody says she can't see my screen. My screen is still shared. Okay. So I'm copying my mapping, okay, and I'm pasting it. I hope you did yours, but in case you didn't do it, I'm pasting the mapping in the chat box. So you can copy and paste it in a notepad. Okay. So as for the questions, they're already there. Um, in fact, the other thing is that you would have done a table and says and all the fields after this, what you'll be doing, quarterly sales for this, total sales for the quarter and all of that. But we'll use the questions to do that. So I'm going to move this to the left hand side to the other screen. So you might not be seeing it. I'll be referring to it. Okay, so I'm moving it to the left. I'll minimize this and then we come to our data set. Hey, Charlie, plenty columns, about 26 columns or so. It's fantastic. So now what the next step is to fish out. So next step, after identifying the data element, the next step is to um, pull out. So I was looking for a better word. Pull out only the columns or the fields needed to answer the business questions or solve the business problem. So what we have done here will allow us filter the many columns they have given us, the data engineer or the database administrator has given us, to only the ones that are needed to answer the business questions management are asking us. Okay, so that's the next step. All right, so this is it. Now, remember, we need other dates. So I'm doing my check. I'm looking at my mapping. We need other dates. We don't need the other months. We don't need quantity per these questions. We don't need all of this. We need sale amount. So I have other date sale amount. Please, I have started. So do as I'm doing. So highlight column C, other date, highlight column I, sale amount. Whilst you hold down the control key to select non-adjacent columns. So you click on column C, hold down the control key, click on column I, still holding down the control key. The next column that we need or the field that we need is the region. So I'm scrolling to the right, then I click on holding down the control key, I click on column Q. I think the last one column needed that is provided is products category. So that's column U. So I have about 4 columns, Q, U, I, and C. So CIQU selected. Then I right click on any of the selected columns, click on copy, then I create a new sheet. Okay, so new sheet, right? Click on the select all icon here, Control V, enter to paste these three columns. These are the only three columns from the data you need to answer the business questions. Then I rename this as solution. Okay, so week two solution, project solution. Great. Please ensure you are at where I am, having these three columns onto a new sheet. Make sure you have that. Make sure. Then once we have this, we continue with the headings, the columns that we don't have, the calculated one. So we need month number. So please start typing month number. We also need month name. And then we'll need quarter. 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 Okay. So month number, month name, quarter. So we can make progress. So we are going to retrieve the month number from the other date. So you type equals month, you double click on the option that it gives you, click on the cell reference for the first month, which is A2, close the parenthesis, okay, close the parenthesis, hit the enter key, then autofill, okay, autofill, great. And you have the month numbers. Then we move to the month names. The month names, okay, the month names. So you have various options to get the month names. One of them will be you duplicating the how do we call it, the other dates column, and only displaying the month name. Remember we did all of this last week. I think we did the choose. Yeah, we did all of this last week. Yes. So we did the month's name with the choose and all of that. Okay. So please, the emphasis here is your ability to use the choose, because when you move to advanced level of analysis, your ability to use the choose function, the index function, the index and the match function will be very, very important to you. But for all you know, in the interview section as a data analyst, your ability to use these functions could land you the job. So we, based on the month number, we are going to retrieve the month names. Okay, so you type equals choose, and the chooses a value or action to perform from a list of values based on an index number. So we know that 1 is January, 2 is February, 3 is March, 4 is April, like that to December. December is 12. So this is a very great way to use the month numbers that are in column E to determine the name of the month. Okay, so choose, bracket opens. I think last week I showed you different ways of doing that. Okay, so in solving this problem, we only use the choose function. We won't duplicate the other dates and then show only the month. So choose, then the index number is just the first cell reference under the month number 1. Okay, then you bring your comma. Okay, then you start typing January in quotation marks up to December. So you start in quotation marks January, you close the quotes, comma. So please start typing February, you close the quotes, comma. March, you close the quotes, comma. April, you close the quotes, comma. May, you close the quotes, comma. June, you close the quotes, comma. July, you close the quotes, comma. August, in quotation marks, comma. September, in quotation marks, comma. October, in quotation marks, comma. November, in quotation marks, comma. Then the last one, December, in quotation marks, no comma. You close the parenthesis, you hit enter key, and voila, you have January to December. Yes, who got it? Who got it? After today, watch last week's video. We did all of this, and then watch today's video too as well. Okay, so you interrogate to see if it did well. 7 is July, fantastic. 11 is November. So remember, one critical skill a data analyst you should have. Today we discuss problem solving, your ability to see a problem, structure it in a methodological way to solve it, and then also being inquisitive. So you should always interrogate your figures, interrogate your results. When it gives it to you, don't just go to the next. Try to see or check, verify if everything work correctly. Okay, because wrong data gives you wrong results, which means management will make wrong decisions. Great. Then we move to the quarter. Now we're going to use the same choose function. So we know that from January to um, Ma- January to March, right? 1, 2, 3. January to March is quarter one. April to May, quarter two. June to August, also quarter three. October to November, quarter four. So you type under quarter equals choose, open bracket. The index is still the month number, comma. And then this time, when it sees 1, which is for January, it's quarter one. When it sees 2, which is for February, you see quarter one. When it sees March, which is March, which is number 3, is still quarter one. So we are going to do quarter one 3 times in quotation marks, comma, quarter two 3 times in quotation mark. You know that it's 12 divided by 4. Divided by 3, right? 12 divided by 3, giving 4. So each of the quarters will have 3, 3, 3, 3 times 4. So you're going to have quarter one 3 times in quotation marks, quarter two 3 times in quotation mark, quarter four 3 times in quotation marks. Okay, so let's go into brackets Q1, comma, let me cheat small. So I'll copy and paste quarter 2, comma, quarter 3. Please, if you don't copy the comma and you paste, make sure you put the commas there. So this one will be quarter 2, also 3 times. Quarter 2, let me copy and paste with the comma. Quarter 2, the 3rd time. Then quarter 3, copy and paste twice. 1, 2. Then quarter 4. Okay, quarter 4. Copy and paste twice. 1. 1. Didn't copy. So I have to do it manually. Okay. Quarter 4. No comma after the 12th one. Quarter 4. So when you are done, you should have 12 kills. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. Hit the enter key and you have your quarters. Let me zoom in a little so you get to appreciate what is gonna on. Okay. So you see the formula. Let me expand. Okay. Okay. Going too far. Okay. So equals choose E2, comma, Q1, 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 three times separated by comma, Q2, Q2, Q2 separated by comma, Q3, Q3, Q3 separated by comma, Q4, Q4 separated by comma. The last one doesn't have a comma. Then I autofill. Okay. I autofill it. Okay. So let me autofill. Great. Then I interrogate to see if it did the right thing. So April is in quarter 2. Yes, it did the right thing. September is in quarter 3. October is in quarter 4. Then of course we have some January down quarter 1 like that. So that's fantastic. So we have to some extent our data sets set up for our analysis. Yes, show by thumbs up if you are here. Show by thumbs up if you are here. You are preparing the data for the raw work. Great, 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 great. So let's make our hands dirty now by answering the question. So now we go to question 1. Where's my question? Question 1 says, okay, create a new column with the heading Martin. We've done this one. So we have done the first part. Second one, calculate total sales for the East region for first quarter. Okay, so indirectly we've done the first question, the first part. Now we are moving to calculate total sales for the East region for first quarter. So actually, the first thing we have to do is that we must calculate quarterly sales. Okay, so we're going to calculate quarterly sales, and then we'll get the East region. Okay, and find out which region. We'll find out the quarter, the first quarter sales for what do we call it? The East region. So let me copy the question here. Go to Excel. Excel. So I'll put the question at the top here to guide me. Okay, so calculate total sales. All right, so watch this. So many techniques being employed in this assignment. Now we need quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, quarter 4 here, so we can calculate the quarterly sales. So we need the quarter here, 1, 2, 3, 4, in their non-duplicate form. Okay, of course, I can write QT, I can write it like this. Maybe the heading here, quarter, and write QTR, QTR1, and autofill up to 4, like this. Then on the right hand side, I'll say total sales. Okay, I can do it like this. But let me show you another approach. Okay, another approach which might be very handy when you can't autofill the names of the dimensions, okay, or the labels for the dimensions. So please highlight column G, which has the quarters. Highlight column G, which has the quarters. And then copy it, copy the content, then come and paste it in column H using the enter key. Oh, okay. Guess you have to paste as value. Okay. So come to column H, right click, and then choose paste values. Then hit oh, okay, paste as values and then press the escape key. So let me do that again. Right click on column G, copy, Then move to column H, click on the column letter H, right click, and then paste as values. Then press the escape key. Okay, and press the escape key. Okay, when that is done, still highlight column H, and then go to the data tab on the ribbon. Under data tools, you should see remove duplicates. So you highlight column H, which has the quarters. Then you move to the data tab. Under data tools command group, you see remove duplicates. I think it's right to text to columns. Okay, you click on it, and then you have this remove duplicate warning. We don't want to expand the selection. We want to continue with the current selection. We have selected what we want. I don't know why Excel wants to do that. So we want only column H. Then you click on remove duplicate, and it will bring the column which you want to remove duplicates. Yes, my data has headings. Okay, so you check my data has headings on the right hand side, and then you click on OK. It will go through and then remove all the duplicates and give you only the unique, we call it uniquify. So it gives you only the unique values. So it's been quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 duplicated from the first row to the 890 something row. Okay, so this one is there. For this purpose, this approach seems very lengthy, but as a data analyst, you should be able to know how to remove duplicates from a column when you can't define a pattern to autofill or fill handle it downwards. Okay, great. I hope it's working for you and that we can make progress. On my right side before the share, I have a tell me box. If I type in remove duplicates, the same option, so there's a shortcut, and going forward, you have to be efficient. So because I'm introducing you to it, I have to show you where it is. Okay, it's under the data tab. But going forward, to be efficient, you just go to the tell me, you type remove duplicate. You don't even need to remember which section is under, which tab is there. It falls. Just know the name of the function or functionality you're looking for. Go to the tell me or the ask and type it there. So if I type remove duplicate here, it takes me bam. I've avoided so many steps. Takes me to this section. Okay, so continue with current selection, remove duplicates. My data has headings. You check that one, then click on OK. Then to remove all the duplicates. When we are learning data cleansing where we don't want duplicates, that's why I'm taking my time to walk you through this. This one will uniquify quarters 1 to 4 with just one occurrence of each of them. And when you have that, so I have this, I select them and then move them here. When the mouse pointer turns into 4 edge arrows, I move them to the right hand side. Great. Now let's get to the fun part where we enter the formulas. Okay, where we enter the formula. Okay. Now the advantage of picking this quarter 1, 2, 3, 4 from this column is that you get to get the same way K1 is spelled and the font is using here, or the format, the character encoding is using here, because we are going to use SUMIF and SUMIF and AVERAGEIF formulas relying on these values. So it's important to get them right from here. Remember when I was doing, I did QTR1. That would have given me a lot of problem. If I had done this one as QTR1, QTR2, QTR3, that would be fine. But there should be, how this is, should be the same as what is here. Okay, so total sales for quarter one. Total sales for quarter 1. we use the SUMIF. Okay, so the SUMIF statement, or the SUMIF function allows us to total or sum or add up all the sale amounts by defining the by providing a criteria that add all the sale amounts which were recorded in Q1 only, the SUMIF. Then we go to quarter two. Go through my data set from the first one to 899 or something, and give me the total for only the sales recorded for quarter two. Okay, so let's begin with that. So you type equals SUMIF. If it's only one condition, then use a SUMIF. If you have more than one, use SUMIFS. Okay, so SUMIF, then you have the range. Okay, the range. So take note, the range here is the range or the column where your criteria is coming from. So in this case, if it's one criterion, so the column where our criterion Q1 is coming from is the G. So you click on column G. This is the easiest way as well. So when you click on column G, you've selected the entire column, assuming that we are not going to have extraneous data below. So you click on column G to select it. Okay. So we are assuming that we don't have any extraneous data beneath the last row. So you click on that column G, select the entire row, then comma. Okay. Then the next, per the syntax, the next thing is the criteria. So we have selected the quarter column with Q1 up to Q4. What criteria, what condition are we looking out for from this column, or what item in the quarters column are we looking out for here? We are looking for the quarter one. So we come and click on Q1 here. Okay, mine is in I5, Q1 here. Okay, click on Q1 here, comma. Then the sum range is a column that you are going to sum, the values you are going to sum. So here the values we're going to sum are the sale amount. So that's the sale amount column. You scroll to your left, and then that's in column B. Just click on the column letter B, since we know we don't have extraneous data at the bottom of it. So you click on column B, and then that's it. You close the parenthesis and hit the enter key, and you have the total sale amount for um, for quarter one. Okay, so I want to format this as currency, so I'll select them, or maybe let me use the thousand separator. So that's 7,019,246,071 cents. Okay, great. Now, can we autofill? Yes, we are going down, so we can autofill down. If you had zero, it means that you had see that if you had zero, chances are that your Q1, can you paste your function, paste your formula in the text in the chat box for me to see? If you had zero, your Q1 will be different. So please, where is your I5? Did you structure your your Excel like my own? Me, my I5 has quarter one, Q1. Does your I5 have Q1? Make sure your I5. So you don't need to even enter the fields. You just have to click where your quarter one. Okay, if it is there, and you have 0, 0, 0, 0. Okay, so let me do this one. Okay. Okay. So James, sorry, James, I see my own. Where I have quarter one, remember the reason why I told you that you have to duplicate this one, and then remove duplicate so you can have it. I change the Q1 to QR1, and then I have 0 like you have. So check your Q1, copy your Q1 here, Q1, Q2, Q3, copy and paste them in the chat box. Let me see. Okay, so besides, I hope everybody is okay. Everybody had it. Okay, so I guess I have to take my time. Sylvia, your question is a good question, but we are not even doing pivot table. So actually, we are we are not using pivot table. This is not pivot table. We are doing the hard way. Okay, so we are not finding quarters using the pivot table. So we are doing the alternative of using the pivot table to find quarters. Okay, so yes. So we are not using pivot table. There is an alternative. Yeah, yeah, there's a hard way. There's the advanced way. And the hard way. Yeah. But when you get after you pass the interview there, don't worry yourself with this. Use a pivot table. But for the sake of interviews and being an advanced Excel user for data analytics, you have to learn, you have to know this. In fact, it's haram. You can't call yourself a data analyst if you can't write a sum if function. No, it's haram. Okay, so let me see what James Sina. Oh, okay. Sina, is it working now? Is it working now for you, Sina? Uh-huh. Good, good, good. So please, you two tomorrow you owe me one pizza. You say me, my friends need now. When I come to church tomorrow, I take pizza from you. No, you is the apple. Charlie, the guy, a born or the bomb easy. So you there, you contribute to the purchase of the Apple laptop. Pizza there say 150 Ghana per. Okay. Um. So everybody has the right answer. Now, when you autofill this one, always double click to cross check if it did the right thing. So when you double click in quarter two sales, you get to see you get to see if it picked Q2 as the criterion. Okay, and that's what it's doing. It did it even without fixing, without using the mixed reference or absolute reference, and because you have done Q1, Q2 in a column way, it's working perfectly. So these are the quarterly sales, okay? But this is not the end game. Oh. The question says um, the total sales for East region for first quarter. Hmm. Kata 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 BI. So now we have to get the total sales for East region for first quarter. Now we have to write the 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 function for. Okay, I guess this one will let us answer the question for which quarter has the highest sales. So let's do that one before this. This one will be a straight away one function. Okay, so let me copy that. Where's my calculates? Where is the question? Which calculate the total sales? No, determine the quarter. Okay, so this one should be the first question. Sorry. Okay, so we're going to do this one. The quarter with the highest sales. And since we are here, it will make sense to do that. Okay, let me move this one down a little. Okay, so quarter with the highest. So are you having challenges with your internet? It looks like you go off and come back. But You can't see my screen. That's why you go and come. Okay, let me stop sharing. Oh, I've stopped sharing, so let me share it again. Uh, oh, okay. So I've reshared. Confirm if you can see it. Confirm. Fantastic. Okay. So it will make sense after calculating the quarterly sales. It will make sense to determine which quarter had the highest sales. Oh my God. So brace yourself. Brace yourself. So there are two functions we call the perfect pairs. In fact, they vibe, they gel together. I mean, they are like James and Jamesina. I mean, twins that vibe together. When you combine these two, oh man, it will not be like, hey, I think I'm recording, so I'll be online. It will not be like the trotro driver and the trotro mate. Yeah, I've not mentioned any names, so I'm free to go. So when you combine the index function and then the match, so these are two powerful functions. The index function, the match function, you are able to display here the quarter with the highest sales. So under this, you type, let's give it abbreviation, quarter with highest sales. Okay, so quarter with the highest sales. Let me do it like this so I can get. So I want to make this one the background um black and the font color white and bolding it. And then on the right, the answer, I want to make it a background yellow. So please work on this as well. Yellow and the font to be black. Black is the default. Okay. All right. So do this one down so it's different. It's different. The answer is different from the data. All right. So I believe you are done with that. Okay. Now watch the index function. So let me type the names. Index function. Then the match. In fact, we are going to use three functions: match and the max. Okay. The max function will help us pick the maximum sales out of the quarters 1 to quarter 4. The the max will pick the highest out of this. In fact, when you look at this, the highest is quarter 3. Is that not the case? So if I type equals max, okay, equals max here, I'll get 753 something something, and that is quarter 3. So intuitively, we know that quarter 3 is the one with the highest sales using the max function. But we have to find a way, okay, to retrieve the name of the quarter, okay, to retrieve the name of the quarter rather than the value it recorded, because the question says which quarter had the highest sales. It didn't say what was the highest sale figure. Okay, so it's all of this is to make you eager, learn and practice. So when you get any data set, there's no question management will ask that you cannot answer right in Excel. Okay, now please make sure if you have not typed the max function, make sure you've typed it. Type the max function and let it give you the value 753 7,385.86. So when you are done typing the max function, show by thumbs up so I can make progress. Yes, please. I'm waiting for feedback. Make sure you have the max function entered. I hope finding max is not looking difficult for you. Equals max, then J5 to J8. Yes, please, if you are done, show by thumbs up. If you are done, show by thumbs up. Okay, great. So remember, our answer should be here. It should be at the top. So when we are done, we'll move it to this place. Okay, but that will help us even write it twice. Okay, so the next thing is to use the match function to tell us the match function. What it does is that it returns the position of this value. Where is this value? In other words, the row number. So 7537 is on which row in this data region? So this is our data region from quarter 1 to quarter 4. Okay, or like this, from 7019246 to 7529 to 7178618.90. This is our data region. It's on which row? It's on row 3. So that's what the match function is going to tell us, where this value is located, where 7537 is located. So we are going to next the match function here. So we are going to next the max function in the match function. So what we are going to do next, we will not get 753, but I'll get the positional value, which is row 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. So please click where your formula is, where your equals max into bracket, J5 is to J8, bracket closes is. Then go to the formula bar and just after the equal sign, type match, open brackets, so you don't forget. Okay, open bracket. Please, I'm waiting for you. When it gets here, let me know. So you type equals match in caps, open the bracket to get the syntax as my own is showing. So it says the lookup value and then lookup array and then the match type. So lookup value is black now, which means that is where we are. So the maximum will highlight the lookup value. Which value are we looking out for? We are looking out for the quarter with the highest sales. Okay, so the maximum will help us identify the one with the highest sales, which is 7537 385.86. Okay, so after this you bring comma. Then it shifts us to the next part of the syntax. Look up array. Where is it looking up from? Okay, where is it looking up from? It's looking up from the same place. J, okay, J5 is to J8. Then comma. Then the last part of it is the match type. Should it get an exact match or something that is greater than that or something that is less than that? We want the exact match. We want the value in there that is the highest. So you type 0. You see from the options, 1 is less than 0 is exact. So we want the exact match. You type 0, close the parenthesis, hit the enter key, and you get 3.00 telling the positional value where 7537385 is in your data region here. So like I said, if you are counting, this is 1, this is 2, and that is 3. So it's on the third one. Okay, so please give me feedback. Is it working? Do you have 3? Do you have 3 as your value? 1, 2. Okay. Yes, so I saw a hand down. Okay. Yes, 2 hands down. Okay, 3 hands up, 2 hands down. Okay, so the 2 hands down, can you explain where your challenges are? Can you copy your formula, paste it in the chat box? Let me interrogate it and see how I can help you. Great. So, any of you, the first one I see is the one I'll address first. So, the match function works like this. So, match, you open the parenthesis, then you max, open parenthesis, then your O5 is working now. Okay. So you didn't define your lookup array and your match type. Okay. All right. Thank God. Now see, this one is going to blow your mind. That's if you are really a data analyst. And there's an endless possibilities of what you can do with this pairs. And now it's like we are writing a function. We are writing a formula with 2 functions. We are going to write a formula with 3 functions. We are nesting 3 functions to achieve our goal. Okay. All right. So mind you, what the match function has done together with the max is giving us the position where the highest value is. Okay, but we are not interested in the position. We are interested in the name. Which quarter is that? Okay, this is where the index function comes in. The index function retrieves a value at the intersection of the array that is given. So this tray that is being displayed now, the index function is going to look to its left, the left of this, okay, and show quarter 3, okay, quarter 3 as the value you are looking for, or as, yes, so in this case value as the answer we are looking for. Okay, so now let's double click and then go and edit our formula. So double click and place the insertion point right after right after the equal sign and type your index. I advise you type it in capital letters. So you type your index and then you open parentheses. If you open parentheses, you will see the syntax. It says array and then row number. Okay. So the array has to do with the column you are going to retrieve the value from. Okay. So the column you are going to retrieve the value from. We are looking for quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, which we are looking for quarter 3, and quarter 3 is in this quarters column. That becomes our array. Okay. So you do that just after the opening parenthesis, you come and select from quarter 1 to quarter 2, and then you do comma. Okay. Remember this one, you are selecting quarter 1 to quarter 4, the column with the quarter values. Don't add the columns. Okay. Don't add the columns. Okay. Then for the row number, we have dealt with it already. That's what the match function. Remember the match, the row number is the place, the row that's the highest value will be on. That's the row 3. And we've already done that with the match and the max function. So that is already sorted. So you go after the closing parenthesis where the 0 is, you bring comma, so you can move to the column number. The column number. And this column number is a column which you are going to retrieve your output, what you are looking for. And quarter total sales. So quarter is column 1, total sales is column 2. We want the output to come from the quarter column, which is 1, not the total sales, which is 2. So you just enter 1 here and you close the parenthesis, you hit the enter key, and voila, it's quarter 3. So you get to see that the quarter with the highest sales is quarter 3. Let me copy this and then put it here like that. Okay. Yes. Is it working? Great. So it's working for 1. Is it working? 2, 3. Fantastic. Fantastic. So you have to be practicing this one. Check online. There are YouTube videos on the index, the match. So what the index does is that it retrieves a value. So you can look for cities and countries, which if you find a particular city, which country does it belong? The index is very useful at that. In fact, when you combine the index and the match, it's a perfect combination, better than VLOOKUP and the XLOOKUP that are there. So these ones, they are timeless. Microsoft solved the challenges with the VLOOKUP and then the HLOOKUP. And so now it has brought XLOOKUP. But any data analyst that knows how to combine the index and the match, there's nothing you can't do. There's no lookup features or functionality you can't do, because the VLOOKUP has issues when the values are to the left. But the index and the match, regardless of the position, whether the value you are looking at is to the left or to the right, you don't have a problem. It will never give you an A. It will never give you an error. It will always give you the right result. So please, after we upload this video, watch it as many times as possible. Practice it on different sets. Of course, I'll be giving you more questions, more activities that will help you practice that. So this is for the quarter with the highest sales. Now we move to the total sales for East region. Total sales for East region for the first quarter. Okay. So this one we are going to use SUMIF, SUMIF, SUMIF. Okay. So you type equals, I think our values are to the right. So you type equals SUMIF, SUMIFs. So remember, we have 2 criteria: East region and first quarter. So you can't use SUMIF. If you use SUMIF, the singular one, it means that you have one criterion. But here we need to filter or provide a condition for the region as East and a condition for the quarter as quarter 1. So we need to use the SUMIFs. SUMIFs. When the conditions are more than 1, then use the SUMIFs. If you only have one condition, assume you wanted to sum only wanted the total sales for East region, we just use SUMIF. But now we want total sales for the East region for first quarter. Okay, that would mean that we have to use the SUMIFs. SUMIFs. Okay, so equals SUMIFs, bracket opens. Then look at the syntax. The sum range. Sum range. Okay, and the sum range is the range of values we are going to sum. That is the sale amount. So I guess that's in the B column. So we scroll to our right and we locate the sale amount column. We click on that. We go back to our formula with the control backspace. So you select the B column for the sale amount. You bring your comma. Then the syntax highlights criteria range 1. So criteria range is the columns from which you are going to define a criterion or a condition. So we start with the East region. So we go through the regions. Okay. We go and select, I think the regions are in column C. So you select column C then comma. Then you see that syntax is moving to criteria 1 or criterion 1, and that will be the east. Okay, east. So you put that in quotation marks. So you type east the same way it is spelled in the column. Okay, east. And you type comma, type comma. Then you see that syntax moves to criteria range 2. That will be the quarters, total sales for the east region for first quarter. So we are moving to the quarters that we calculated. So our quarters column is column G. You highlight it, comma. Then you see that our uh, syntax highlights criteria 2, which is quarter 1. So in fact, you can click quarter 1, or you can come and click on quarter 1 here, or just put quarter 1 in quotation marks. So I'm going to put K1 the same way they are in the column G in K1 in quotation marks. And then I close the parenthesis, and voila, I am done. This is the answer we have been looking for. So total sales for the East region for first quarter is 1,478,492, 478,492 and 63 cents. To mention big monies like this, these are in dollars. See, when you mention them, they will come to you. Okay. In the name of Jesus, may you receive $1 million check, $5 million in your house, just like the famous minister. Okay. Yes, who had the same answer? Whose one is working? Whose one is working? My data analyst. Uh, do not there, you just keep showing us your hand up. Okay, so Marianne, yes, please the rest. If you have any issue, let me know quickly, quickly. This is the SUMIFS. Not too difficult at all. Oh, fantastic. I like the way the ladies are getting it. Because I am not feeling your vibe. Because are you still here with us? Oh, okay. Okay. So that answers question. Oh, fantastic. The ladies are doing great. Okay. So we have done this first quarter. Calculate the mean sales for training. Okay, we've done this one. So we are left with 2. Calculate the mean sales for training for second quarter. That's the next thing. And then the last one will be the data to make it easy to look up total sales. Okay, fantastic. So should I move down or right? Let me move to the right. Let me move to the right rather. Okay, so this is mean sales, which means average sales. Okay, average sales for training for second quarter. Second quarter for second quarter. Okay, so this one, let's do it simple. Is that training? So we don't even need to do for development and consulting. There are only 3 categories, 3 product categories. Okay, so let's do it simple, simple, simple. Okay. We'll type quarter 2. Okay. So average average sales for training for second quarter. So this one to use the average ifs. Okay. So you type equals, let me do it to the right, equals average ifs Okay. Oh, the plural one, average ifs. Okay. So the first one is the average range, and that will be our sale amount column. So you scroll to your left, you click on column B, control backspace to get to where your formula is, comma. Then the criteria will do with the training. So training is under products category. So you scroll to your left, you select column, I think that's column D, right? Select column D, comma. Then the criteria range. So whilst I'm here, I'll put training in quotation marks. So training in quotation marks. And I'm spelling it the same way it is here. If you don't do that, you get zero. Like your result will be zero. Okay. So I see training here, TRAINING, comma. Then the second one, criteria range 2, that will be, is it second quarter? Let me see. Backspace. Okay, second quarter. So we move to the quarters. The criteria range, second criteria range is the quarter column. So you click on the quarter column to highlight it. I think that's column G, comma. And then the criteria is quarter 2. So you type Q2 in quotation marks and you are good to go. You are done. As easy peasy as that. Okay. So the value is 3110.88 cents. Okay, 3110. Of course, this is it's supposed to be it's dollars. I've changed my I don't want this one. It's supposed to be dollars. I've changed my settings to show cedis. But these values are dollars. Dollars. Okay. Okay. So maybe I can put here to bracket dollars. All right. I hope everybody had this value. $3,110.88. 88 cents. Oh, Donald, I don't even believe you. Okay, so okay. Please give me feedback so I know that um so Donald, if you are really doing it, show your formulas. Paste your formula where you've gotten to. Yes, David, tell us what's your challenge? What's your issue? Mm-hmm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Uh-huh. Yeah, your question is, so is it working now? Uh-huh. Oh, it's not difficult at all. This is it's not difficult. Just that yeah, it's not difficult. I mean, there's nothing difficult about doing this. The moment you start typing, you you see the syntax and you follow the syntax. You follow what's next to select. Okay. Now the last one will blow your mind. And after this, like I said, if you can do all of this on your own without any assistance after today, in fact, we'll call you a data analyst. Seriously. So let's do that one. Then go for a 10-15 minutes break and we'll come back to continue. Okay. I hope you are learning something very, very useful. Very, very useful. Great. So, last question. The next one, I won't solve the problem for you. Design your data to make it easy to look up. But I guess this one, I thought last week we did the choose. We didn't do the average if and the index, right? That's how come I want to use it as an opportunity to teach it. Okay. So I was expecting you look at the outline and then you go and do more research on that. Okay, so last one, and we're good to go. Bam. Oh, not this one. My machine is still messing up. Design. Okay. Okay, yes. So the last one, I mean, is overall. Design your data to make it easy to look up total sales for each region. Hey. So embrace yourselves. Embrace yourselves. Embrace yourselves. So I'm going to show you a number of techniques. I'll show you 3 ways to go about this. And then you see the most efficient one, the one that is mostly error free. And after this, but when you have any large data sets, you can use these techniques on the large data sets and help you ask questions about it at any point in time. And remember, everything we are doing here, we are doing it towards the end game. Your ability to build reports, build dashboards, interactive dashboards. So this last thing is about interactivity in your results, in your analysis, in your data set as you analyze them, and your ability to build data stories. Monday we'll do data stories. So I have to prepare you today for Monday's workshop as well. So after this, we do tables and pivot tables and some little charts. Then you'll be good for Monday's workshop. And in just 3 weeks you're already a data analyst after next week or after today. Okay, so this question implies that let your user or you yourself be able to come here and either you type, let's say, east region, east, and as soon as I type or I select east from a list you provide me from the regions, I should be able to see the sales displayed down here. This is the import of the question. This one, nobody had it, including the best students for last week's project. Nobody had it correct. Right? I don't think she even did it. So she didn't do that one. One tempting po. Okay. So design. Let me move it like this so I can see. Design your data to make it easy to look up total sales for each region. Great. So let's go there. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Let me see the one which is very easy for you. So we just learned the index and the match function. Okay. Remember, every activity in a week is supposed to solidify whatever you thought in that week. Okay. Great. So we are going to use the. So let's type here using the. So approach one. I hope my spelling is correct. Using the index and match function. Please comment your write these things in your Excel sheets as I'm doing. It will help you uh, revise. Approach, 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 approach. Come, Mrs. Approach. Great. So using the index and the match, this is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. So we'll first give the user a box. You say enter region. Okay. And then We are assuming that the user has entered east. Okay, so please do this. I am waiting for you. Do this east. Hmm. So enter region and the user and you to enter east. Please, east should be spelled exactly as is in the data set, like this: capital E and small letters AST. When you are done, give me thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, so we can continue and have our 15 minutes break. 3. Okay. So these are the active people here. Hey, Sylvia, I hope you are still here. Sylvia, but you're having issues, eh? One can say, but are you okay? One can say, a bit Janeja. Okay. You. So if you are okay, then let's continue. I don't want Matthias to come and beat me. Okay. Then down there, type down below, enter region, type total sales. Total sales. Okay. Total sales. Think I can build in it. Hmm, I'll go for a black fill and a white font to contrast it. Okay, so please, I'm waiting for you when you have your total sales below the enter region. If you are done, now move to the right of total sales. That's where we are going to enter our formula. That's where you're going to enter our formula. Okay, so using almighty index and match. Okay, so to avoid writing many nested functions, it will be helpful if you can have a lookup table to the right hand side that has, just like we did for the quarters, okay, just like we did for this, okay, that has each of the 4 region sales there. Okay, so let's do that. Let me get, so please scroll to the right. Let me see which column will be. Scroll up to column T. Column T. I'm starting from row 5 and type regional sales. Regional, right? Yeah. Regional sales. Lookup table. Lookup table. Okay. Lookup table. Then type region here. Oh, type region. And then type the total sales. Region and total sales. Oh, what's that? The font is white. Total sales. Good. And please, this one, you just use the SUMIFS. Okay. Sorry, SUMIF. So we have our east. Let me type it. I know these are how they are spelled. So I'll type them quickly. So please do same. East, central, west, south. Like this. Make sure they are spelled like this. Okay. Just like we did for the quarter. Okay. Then you type equals sum if bracket opens. Our range will be the region here, control backspace, comma. Our criteria, you click on east, just like we did for the quarter, comma. Then your sum range will be the sale amount. So I know you know how to do this one. Timbacho. Yeah. Okay, it's confirmed if you have the original total sales. If you are done, just get it right for the first one. And since you have east, central, like that, you just auto fill downwards. It will pick the corresponding ones to the left. Okay, so with this lookup table, and we are good to go, we are going to come here and set up our system in such a way that it's intelligent. So behind the scene, the user might not know that we have a lookup table somewhere. That when he selects, it's going to display the total for them. So ideally, you hide this one from the user. Okay. So when we are done, we are putting everything together on a dashboard. We'll be hiding the calculations, just like a software developer, the website and the back end, the database. So we hide the back end from the user and give the user the interface like this. So the user will come here and enter East and get the total. Say, hey, wow, what a system. Anything I enter, any region I enter the value, the system gives me total sales. Wow, fantastic. Okay, so with the lookup table sets, then we can use our index and match function to um, to display the total sales based on what the user will select or enter here. Okay, so come to your total sales under the enter the region, then you type equals, then you start to your index. Okay, now we have the array as, so we have the syntax as an array. So that array is the output column. So your index array is the output column. What do we want? We want the total sales to be displayed. That will become our array. So we move to our lookup table, and these values from east, remember the columns are not added. So the values and the total sales from east to south become our array or table array, okay, or lookup array. Great. So the array and the index is always the column from which you are going to retrieve your output value. Okay. Then you continue, comma. Then the row number is the match. So we use the match. We use match, okay, to retrieve the, remember the match function returns the position, the relative position of an item in an array. So the match would let us know where east is in our data lookup table and retrieve the value corresponding to the total sales corresponding to east that the user will enter. So you type match, bracket opens, then your lookup value. Okay, your lookup value is what you are looking out for. That's what the user will enter. So what is the user going to enter here? The name of the region. Currently, it is set to um what do we call it? It is set to, oh, Control Z. Where is my formula? Control Z, Control Y. Currently, it is set to, oh, so I've lost it. So currently, it is set to um east. Okay, that would be the lookup value. Lookup value. Okay, lookup value. Okay, so mine is gone. Let me type it again. Index, bam, array, move to the right, total sales. Something is wrong. Supposed to be 4. Okay, because index bracket opens. Okay. Comma. The row number, we use the match function. Match lookup array. I come here and click on east. East. That's what the user is going to enter, and then we'll look up. So that's the lookup value. Where are we going to look up this value? We are going to look it up in the regions column from east to south, comma. Do you want an exact match? Yes, we want an exact match. So 0, open the parenthesis. Okay, open parenthesis. Then a close parenthesis, then comma. And we come to the last parameter for the index function, which is the column to retrieve the value. Now remember, the values we want are total sales, and region is column 1, total sales column 2. Okay, region is column 1, total sales is column 2. Okay, let me see. We selected this one and to retrieve. Okay, so let's enter one and let me see if it has. Okay, so one works. One works. I think we selected. Okay, yeah. So we selected the sales as that, the sales column. That's the U column, and that will be column 1. Okay, so that's how come it works. So you enter 1 because we are looking up the sales one, the sales column. Okay, great. So when you do that, let's confirm. Let me confirm if the East region sales is 6467. Yes, 6467. Fantastic. When I come here and change it from East to West, I should see that the values are changing. Is it not interesting? If I type South, it's changing. If I type Central, it's changing. Okay. So this is it. I mean, this is how you're supposed to do it. So you can look up uh, your values quickly. But you want to avoid a user entering. You have to give the user an option to select. Okay. So since we've not gone for the break, let me quickly do this one and then can go for our break. So I'm going to copy this and paste it down here. Okay, paste it down and show you the second approach. So this is second approach. The only thing that changes is we don't want the user to enter, we want the user to select. So approach 2, approach 2, approach 2. So we'll say select. So with the second approach, we'll let the user select the region instead of typing. That's the only thing that will change. That's the only thing that will change. So don't worry if you have not applicable here. When we are done, it will work. Okay, it will correct it because there's nothing in the cell above it. That's how come it's not applicable. Okay, so now click to the cell, click in the cell right to select region, and then go to the data ribbon. So data ribbon, data tools, and then data validation under data tools command group. Again, data validation. So data tab, data tools command group, data validation, data validation. Great. Then you click on the first tab that is selected is what we need, settings. Then you have validation criteria, allow, set to any value. No, we don't want any value. Click on the down pointing chevron and choose list. List. So any value, select list. We don't want any value. And then click inside the source text box or combo box text box. Then click on this up pointing arrow. Okay. Since we have the four regions somewhere to the right, you click on that arrow. Go to the right where we have our region lookup table. Select from sales to south. Okay. And then come and click on the down arrow under the data to the right of on the data validation dialog box to open it up. And then you click on OK. So when you do that, you would have like a combo box or a list to the user. You will select the region, and based on the value that you will select, um, let me see what is wrong. Based on the value that you will select, you get the result. Okay, so U7 to U something. Let me see. This one is what? U11. So I guess it's missing the first. So U7 to U11. Okay, just correcting. Um, Let me type it again myself. Okay, so equals index bracket opens my array lookup array is a total sales comma comma, and then row number. I use a match function, open parenthesis. My lookup value is east comma, lookup array is still within this region comma, I want exact match 0, close the parenthesis, comma. I'm looking them up in the sales one, which is 1, and voila. So this is more preferred. This is the most efficient one to avoid any mistake. So you come here, the user can select west. Did it change? Let me see. Oh, wait. Uh, okay, I guess I have to look up value is this one. I didn't select lookup value. This is cell M12. So lookup value here is M12. So now when I come here, change to central, it changes. West, it changes. South, it changes. Okay, so compare the central to central, same value here. Anything to avoid typo from the user is the best. Thank you very much. So let's have our 15 minutes or 12. It's 11:42. So let's give ourselves 15 minutes. Get something to eat. So please, the ribbons again. Hey, why? I'm sharing some ribbons. Eh? Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. So in the next 15 minutes, we'll come back, get something to eat. Those who are not married, please go outside your house, get some Hausa cocoa in 5 minutes, drink it. Those who are married, order pizza and blue skies from Sawam and all of that. Enjoy, enjoy. The next 15 minutes, we'll come back and continue. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So we are treating tables. The first thing we'll do is that we need to um, get our sales underscore US data duplicated. Okay, we want to duplicate it. as you can see, I'm going to duplicate sales underscore US. It's always important you make a copy of your data set. That's why anytime you want to do any analysis, imagine we had not duplicated the sales underscore US. It means that now that we need it again to put another topic, we won't get it. You have to go and download it somewhere. So always keep a copy of the file you are working with, the data set you are working with. So for this one, I'm duplicating it right inside this workbook. So I right click, move or copy. Then I want to move it to the end. So I scroll down, move to end, create copy. Since it's within this workbook, I just click on OK and it's copied. I know it's copied because I have sales underscore US into bracket 2. Okay. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to rename. My machine keeps messing me up. I'm going to rename this one as table. Okay. Table. Great. So kindly do that when you are done. Show by thumbs up if you have it duplicated and renamed the sheet as table so we can make progress. All right. So please give me feedback because I'm not seeing your faces. I need to know that you are up to where I am so I can make progress so we can make progress. Okay. So mind you, this is to show you all the things you can do with table. Um, when we start Power Query, then I'll walk you through the full pipeline for using Excel for data analytics. And I think that one will be like next week or next 2 weeks. This is our third week, so we have about 3 weeks more to finish with Excel, and then we'll move to Power BI or SQL. Okay, so please look at this. What we're going to do. So when you see this sheet that we call table, somebody might assume that so far as it's in rows and columns, a table. Please no, this is not a table in Excel. Remember, a table is the basic unit of a database. So whilst Excel is not a database application or a database software, Excel is a spreadsheet that's for calculations. Whilst it's not a database software, it can act as a database, more especially when the data needs of the organization are not too much, when they are not in millions, if they are in hundreds and thousands, then you can use Excel. Remember, one Excel sheet can allow you store data about 1,458,576 minus one observations or rows. Okay. So you can store as much as 1,478,000 up to that minus one on one worksheet. But the challenge will be when your data grows exponentially, daily, weekly, monthly, or yearly. Then you have your data scattered on many sheets. That's why it's not advisable you use Excel to store your data. That doesn't mean that you cannot use Excel as a database or you can't have the database functionality, some of the database functionalities right in Excel. So Excel allows us to normalize, to build ER diagrams that SQL, SQL Server, or MySQL, or MongoDB, and all these SQLite, the database application softwares or systems allow people, database developers, Oracle, and all of that, allow database developers to do. Excel can allow you to design a database, store it, allow entry, but you can create a database in Microsoft Access, and that is specifically for database, and connect your Excel to Access. So you can enter data in Excel and it will go into the Access database. And that's the most efficient way. So you are storing your data and it can take millions and millions of observations, no restrictions, no crashing of Excel, no truncation of some observations or of that sort. Okay, so what will let Excel know that you have a table is when you have used its table feature, and the foundation to developing interactive, automative, um, interactive and automated dashboard in Excel and dynamic dashboard in Excel is starting from a table. Your ability to convert your data set into a table enriches your ability to design interactive reports and even do some ad hoc analysis without writing functions right here. So see how easy it is. That will allow you to even do what we call data pre-processing, or cleaning the data, checking for abnormalities or missing data values, missing data in your data set. Okay, so enough of the plenty talks of the theory behind table. So a table is made up of rows and columns. Again, the fact that this is made up of rows and columns doesn't make it a table. So to convert this one to a table, you click anywhere in the data region. Remember, from A, I think it's from A to AA, that's about 27 columns, to the last. So if I do control down arrow, the last row is 8,400. This region, so it's A1 up to AA8400 is my data region. So when I place a mouse pointer, I do control home to get to AA. When I place a mouse pointer in any of this region and I go to the data tab, the insert tab to create a table, then I am converting this one to a table. So I can go to the insert tab, tables, create table, or use a keyboard shortcut. So we are going to do it two ways. Okay. But before you convert your data set into a table, you must check if you don't have extraneous data. So extraneous data is any irrelevant data, irrelevant rows and columns. So you can do control right arrow. Remember the keyboard shortcuts or navigations we learn. Control right arrow takes you to the last column. Yes, the last column is AA. Does it have values? Yes. Okay. After that, you make sure that after this column, there are no columns where there are no values to the right. Anything here will be what we call extraneous data. That doesn't follow tabular data structure, rectangular or tabular data structure. If I have total sales here, it will not total sales. It will not total sales. Then I perform the calculation here. This is a bad sheet for converting to a table. So if you have any calculations to the right, make sure you delete them. Okay, we don't have. So in the real world, when they give you any data set and realize that somebody has done some calculations to the right, duplicate it, cleanse any extraneous things to the right or to the bottom. So I go to the down arrow and I get to see there are no other calculations at the bottom. Sometimes you see some quarterly calculations, something at the bottom. You make sure none of those things are there. So now we've cross-checked. We don't have any extraneous data in this data sheets in our data region. So click on cell A1 or anywhere where there's a value in this on this worksheet, and then you either do Control A. So when you do Control A, it will select only the data region. So you can scroll to the right to interrogate. Remember, one of the soft skills you should have is being inquisitive, your ability to interrogate every activity you are doing to check if it did the right thing. Okay. Yes, I scroll down, scroll right, scroll down, scroll left. Yes, did the right selection. So Control A, once you have your cell, an active cell within the data region, will select only the data region. In other words, the data region is the columns with values. Okay. All right. Now click on the Insert tab on the ribbon. Insert tab on the ribbon. Under Tables command group, that's the first command group. You see pivot table, recommended pivot tables, and then table. And then when you place the mouse pointer on it, you get to see the keyboard shortcut. And the keyboard shortcut for creating tables is Control T. So the next time you're going to do it, you're going to use the keyboard shortcut. That's more efficient. Doing Control T is more efficient and faster than going to click on the insert, coming to tables command group. About 3 clicks. That's too long. Okay, so please, for the first time, you click on table using the insert menu. Then this dialog box greets you. It says that where is the data for your table? Okay, and because we did a selection first, okay, it will bring out this matching ants, ants that are matching from left to the right across our rectangular selection. When it brings, always interrogate to see if it also did the right thing. Yes, it did the right thing. No extraneous selection. Yes, it did the right thing. So I'm scrolling to interrogate. Then always check my table has headers. Yes, row ID, other dates, all of these are headers. So you click on OK to accept that default. Now this is an Excel table. Okay, this is Excel table, not the one with the rows and columns like that. Okay, this is an Excel table. Okay, with this, many exploratory analytics. Yes, so which aspect did you miss, please? Sylvia, which aspect did you miss? Okay, so a minute time. So I think I've undone my steps. Okay, so insert tables, table. Sylvia, are you here? Is this where you had the issue? So when you say checking, you mean checking, which one do you mean? Is it this, as in checking what? Checking whether it did the right selection or checking this box? Which one? Okay. So please click in cell A1, do Control A, and give me feedback, please. Have you done Control A? Okay, scroll to the right. Okay, so you follow me. Don't click on any cell. Come to the scroll bar, the horizontal scroll bar. Don't click inside the selection. Come to the horizontal scroll bar and scroll to your right to see if it's selected up to AA. Did they do that? Remember, all this while don't click on the sheet. Then go to the vertical scroll bar, click and scroll down to see if it takes you to 8400 and see if that's where the selection ends. Okay. Now, please. Oh, okay. And still, if you use the arrow keys, it means that you get it deselected. So still don't click inside the cell. Don't click on the sheet. Click on the insert tab, tables, table, and then you make sure my table has headers is checked. Then click on OK, and it should have this. Fantastic. Okay. Now mine is blue. I have this color. You can change. This is the table. So this is an Excel table, and like I was explaining, this one can be used to explore. You can use it to answer even so many business questions. So the question that the project that I gave you for week 2, you can use this table to do it easily and quickly. Okay. So if I want to change the formats, it's blue and it's banded. When we say banded, this is banded rows. So it means that the rows will be alternating in colors. So this is some light blue, the next one will be white, the next one will be the light blue, like that. It's a banded row. So when you create your table, a contextual menu called design, a contextual tab or ribbon tab called design shows up, and it will be selected by default. So under that, you get to see that under table style options, banded rules is checked. When I uncheck it, it goes away and looks like some financial data from Yahoo Finance or uh, the stock exchange or this Bank of Ghana people. So for now, let's use the banded rules. Then you also get to see banded columns. So the banded columns will look at each column and color them. That's not so useful for us now, unless we want to just make the columns banded without the rule. So you can't have two at the same time. So banded rows checked by default. And then the filter button. So filter button are these carrots to the right, the buttons to the right of each column heading. Very, very useful. We need them, but I want you to see where they are. So in future, when you are done and you want to send this file to your boss, and you don't want your boss to be able to see that, oh, Charlie, you use a table, you can turn the filter buttons off, okay, so that they don't catch you your tricks. Okay, so this filter button is very useful for you in your analysis. Okay, then if you want to change the color or the style, the table style, click on the quick styles. Okay, and you have different ones. All of this, I think I like this green, so nice, so I'll go for that green. Okay. So it's not fixed that always the color will be blue. As a data analyst and advanced data analyst using Excel, it's important that you always don't accept the default Microsoft gives you. If you accept the default, you are like every other person. You do your design, your reports, your graphs, and all of that. And another person from another department does the thing. Then when you are doing the presentation, it's like the same thing he's here, the same thing is there. No, always make changes to the default settings, the default colors, the default font Microsoft gives you. Microsoft is blue, it's biased towards blue. So you change that. Again, all of this is also dependent on the the theme you have chosen. So when you go to page layout, please click on the page layout tab on the ribbon. Okay, page layouts. I'm waiting for you. Page layout. Great. I believe by now you are there. Then click on themes. The themes is the first command group. When you click on the carrot, you get to see that there are various themes. I think I'm using theme one. So there's Office, there's Preset, Gallery, Integra, Ion Board, Organic, Retrospect, Slides, Wisp, Atlas, Bonded, many of them. If I come and choose damask, as soon as I choose that theme, you see that my table style in terms of the color banding, the row bandings and all of that, the colors have changed. Okay, so the theme you choose and then of course the color sets here to the right determines the options you have under your table styles. Okay, I think I'll go for, I used to have this, the mesh. Okay, let me go for the one that I was using. Okay, so you can come back to, no, I don't like this one. Uh, colors. Okay, I'll go for this colors. Okay, so I went back to my theme one, and I guess my colors, I choose the blue combination. Okay, the blue combination, and I have what I was looking for. Great. So now let's go back to our design ribbon. Design ribbon. Great. So we'll be using this slices and all of that. You can see summarize with pivot table. We are not there yet. This convert to range will be very useful along the line. I'll show you how you create a lookup table and then later you convert to a range. Okay, so I think we've played with this. What we've not done is this total row. Okay, now let's see how we're gonna explore our data set using the table feature. Before we do that, I think it's right we rename the table. It's called table 2 because I think I had an initial table. Yours might be table 1. You have not created any other table. So it's very conventional, it's very useful and very important that anytime you create a table or a pivot table, you name them, because you might have many tables in your workbook. So this one, let's call it sales. We don't know what we are going to use it to analyze yet. So let's call it sales, um, sales US, sales underscore US. Okay, so rename it as the name of the data set, sales underscore US. You hit the enter key, and that table, the table is named like that. Okay, now let's try to answer the questions that we're looking for. Of course, we don't have quota here. Um, One of the questions was, let me see, so we can quickly do the quota. Is there any other that was, so we had sales region. Okay, so let's say you want to find out the total sales for the east region. So this is the data set, total sales for the east region. So you go to the sale amount. Okay, sale amount is what we need. We will not filter that one. We go to the region. So the first thing is to go and filter on the region. So we move to the region column. Region should be after city. I'm on the nth column. I'm looking for region. Okay, so region is on the Q column. So go to column Q and then click on the filter button. That's where my mouse pointer is. So there's a filter button. Click on it. And when you click on it, you get to see all the four regions. Okay, all the four regions. Now, to be able to see the total sales for East region, you uncheck all. You see, there's an option which there's a checkbox which says select all. So you uncheck select all, it will deselect all, then come and select or check East, then click on OK. As soon as that is done, see how fantastic it is or what it does. Does a fantastic job at filtering. So on the filter button, you see that there's a funnel now on the east. So it is filtering the data set, all the observations, to show you only the sales from the east region. So by this, I can scroll to the bottom and see. But when I use the control down arrow, it takes me to 8393. You know that the data set ends on 8400 or something. So 8393. And then even before the 8393, it says 8391. So it means that 8392 was not recorded in the East region. So it is filtering. And this table feature is great at it. It allows you to filter. And this is part of the analysis. Okay, now this is not even the catch. Look at what it's going to do when we add row totals. Okay, when we check the total row. So go to the ribbon under the table style options, check the total row. Okay, the total row. Okay, total row. See that the keyboard shortcut is Control Shift T to check the total row. When I check the total row and I come to the sales column, the sales amount column is on column this column, right? Okay, so I don't get to see the column. Okay, so that's column C. When I click on sale amount, is that column C? Okay, I don't think that is C. Okay, that is, let me see. Okay, so the table column I. Okay, column I. Thank you, Sina. Yeah, it's I2. Okay, so when I click at the bottom side of the sale amount column, I get to see this filter button again, When I click on the filter button, it gives me, so now this filter button is acting as a combo box or a list box, like the one we did for looking up the sale, the original sales. Okay. Okay, what do we want? We want the total sales for the East region. So you click on sum, total is sum, and this gives you the total sales. Let me add the thousand separator, format it, so we get to see. Okay, so that's 6467. And this is what we had when we use the sum if. So remember, now we are going the easy ways. Instead of using sum if and putting east in it. Now, just by filtering, converting to a table and filtering, placing a filter. In fact, using the sum if means you are placing a filter in your function. Okay. Now we have that of the east. Okay. And if we want, okay, so as for the dates, unless we extract, okay. If we go back, control home, and then under the product category, we select training. So product category. Now we are going to place a second filter. Remember, there's a filter on region. So we go to product category, we deselect all, and we say training. So when we check training, what this is going to do is that it is going to give us, so now I can do control down arrow under sale amount. This one is the total sales from the East region for the training category. So on the fly, this is dynamic. You are not going to write new formula at any point in time. You just have to choose your filtering, know how to use the filters. So this amount is total sales for East region for um, training. Then, because we chose the table function and the row total, Excel writes the function for us. It says equal subtotal 109 and then sale amount. Okay, so he's picking the formula, the field's name or the column name in the function. Okay, in the function. Great. Now, almost everything besides the last but almost every other question can be answered right here using the table. Um, um, what other question do you want to ask? Remember, we have not calculated the columns from this. If the quarters, if you calculate the quarters too, we can also place a filter on the quarter column. Okay, on the quarter column to do that. Okay, I think we can do that one shortly. So right click on column D, right click on column D, and then insert. Remember, we want, if you right click on column D and you choose insert, it means that the new column will become column D. Okay, so you have this here. To get the quarters, we would have to first get the month number. Okay, so you type month number, month number. So just type months. I think the number there, we should then here. Then right click on the other month again, insert, and then you type quarter. Quarter. Now you are going to see how the table feature also helps you. As soon as you enter one formula, you don't need to fill handle or autofill. When you enter it, when you are done and press the enter key, it will autofill by itself and makes the table feature a very powerful one. So please, since we have done this, we will not um waste much time. So equals months. Let me see quickly if this one will work. If the month works, voila. If it doesn't work, it means that we would have to uh, copy it as value. So equals month. Let me see. This is what I said. So let me change this to control shift down. Let me see. Change this one from date to number. Okay. So if you do equals months and you enter and it gives you the 190101. As for the month, it will get it correct, but the year will be wrong. Okay. So we are not interested in the year, we are only interested in the month. So when you get it like this, remember your ability to solve problem. You want the month number designation. So you select the column and change the data type under the number command group. Change it from whatever it is to number. Okay. Then reduce or decrease the decimal places to 1. Okay. All right. I hope it's working for you. You should, for now, from now, you should be comfortable working with dates. All the challenges we encounter with dates, you should be able to address them. But if you have the other one, you can copy it and paste it here and change the cell reference. But let's type it ourselves. As you type, you keep typing. Okay, this one, when you copy and paste, don't work because we are in a table. The more you type, the more you become conversant with it. You don't need to memorize. No chew and pour. Okay. So remember, the way the table works is different from the way non-table Excel sheet works. This one picks the name of the column. Okay, not the cell reference. So you just, when you click on D2, oh, is it, am I in D2 or D50? Oh, okay, I have filtered. Okay, okay, I think it's filtered. That's how come I'm having that. Okay, so you click on the first value under the month, then comma, then you begin with your quarter. So quarter one in quotation marks, comma, quarter one, quotation marks, in quotes, quarter one in quotes 3 times, comma, quarter one in quotes. I'm done with the first quarter, so I go to quarter two, Q2. This is the third time you would have entered this function today or this formula today, and by this you should be conversant with it. Comma, in quotation marks Q2, comma, in quotation marks Q3, comma, oh, it's supposed to be Q2. Okay. Then we move to third quarter, Q3, comma, Q3, comma, Q3. Then we move to the fourth quarter, Q4, comma, Q4, comma, and the last one, Q4, and enter. I left something out. Okay, what is it? Dollar sign. Hey, I'll be here then 4 instead of 4. Give me dollar sign. I entered that. Okay, great. So look how beautiful it is. As soon as you press the enter key, and you now by fill handle be the table feature does it for you. So when you want to avoid this finish and autofill, regardless of the size of your data set in your Excel sheet, it means that one of the powerful features you have to do is that almost every time, now and then, when you have a data set you wish to analyze, convert it to a table, and it saves you a great deal of time having to autofill and all of that. Okay, great. I hope it is done. So now we can also filter on quarter. So now, oh, fantastic. I can count. I think the question was it quarter two? Um, training East quarter two. I guess it was quarter two. So I go to quarter two and I go to the bottom. The question was Was it quarter one? Training East region. Okay, so he said quarter one. So let me go to quarter one. Okay, so quarter one, then I go to the bottom. I go to the, I do control N to get to the last, and then let me see. Total sales, total sales for, so I think this is a sale amount. Total sales for quarter one for East region. I guess it was quarter two. Let me see the question. Okay. Mean sales for training for second quarter. Okay. Total sales for East region for first quarter. Oh, okay. So East region for first quarter. So now we have quarter and the region, but I think we have, I want us to get the same value. I think we have training selected, filtered as well. So we want to clear the filter on training. Then we'll get the value we had when we use the SUMIFS. So clear the filter by selecting all, or by clicking on the clear filter at the top. Yes, and this is the value we had, 1478492. Okay, so this is just by selecting. You are not writing any SUMIFS function, but just by filtering, you're able to know total sales on the fly by selecting. So this is it. That's the answer for, I think, the second question. Calculate total sales for the East quarter, for the East quarter for first, for the East region for the first quarter. Then calculate the mean sales for training for second quarter. So see how we're going to do that. Average sales, right? So average sales for training. So now we go to the quarter, should be second quarter. So deselect quarter one, then go to quarter two. It says calculate the average sales for training for second quarter. So we filter quarter two, and then the next one is training. Training is an product category. So we move slowly. I hope we don't have any filter. Region, we don't have to filter on region because it says, so we need sale amount for training and second quarter. So the filter will be on product category, selecting only training and a product category, and then selecting quarter two and quarters. So we clear the filter on region. So you click on the filter on the region and then come and click on clear filter. Great. Then we look for product category, and we filter on training. Deselect or select training, click on OK, and voila, control End to move to the bottom, and you get to see that for second quarter, the amount, okay, this one is total. We needed the mean. I think it's supposed to be around 3 something. So you come here and change the statistic. There's a sum, so change it from sum to average. Okay, yes, and it's like I have the figure in my head, 3110.88. Okay, so in place of using the average ifs, you have used a table feature to perform all these calculations. Isn't it fantastic? Yes. It is fantastic. It is fantastic. So you have all of this to help you, in addition to pivot table, which we'll do next week, to help you interrogate the figures you get when you use the functions. Okay. Or if you use a pivot table, you can write, in fact, the pivot table doesn't have errors. Okay. So I think the other way, when you use the sum ifs, the average ifs, and all of that, use the table or the pivot table to interrogate your answers. Okay. To confirm whether you had it right or you had it wrong. Okay, please, any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Any questions? Okay. Okay. In the absence of no questions, I guess we've done a lot today. So I would end today's lesson at this juncture.